YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. I am CASIUS Monet, if you didn't know. If you are new here, be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you never miss another adventure. But today I wanted to share with y'all my 2022 reading list. This is probably just the first few months of 2022, but they are books I'm very excited to read, and I am excited to share them with y'all. If you would like to read any of these together, I am reading the first two books right now, but I will also leave a link on my Instagram, and I would love to have a cute little book club, or even if you want to just direct message me and chat about a book, I am always open for that. So without further ado, let's get into the reading list. First up, I've already read this book, but my sweet friend Addie is having a book club, and this is the first book that they're reading, so I decided to join the book club anyway and reread it. I took so many notes the first time. This is like all post-it notes, and I highlighted all the way through this book the first time, so I'm very excited to read it now that I'm in a different place in life. So this is Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. Do you ever suspect that everyone else has life figured out and you don't have a clue? If so, Rachel Hollis has something to tell you. That's a lie. With painful honesty and fearless humor, Rachel unpacks and examines the falsehoods that once left her feeling overwhelmed and unworthy, and reveals the specific practical strategies that helped her move past them. So that's this book. I am already on chapter 4 of this one, and it is as good as I remember it. I absolutely love this book. I really think she's such a funny writer. So very excited to be reading this one again. I saw this on Renee Amberg's reading list, and it looked really familiar, so I looked on our bookshelf, and Jerry had already purchased this, so that was perfect. I'm gonna read it. And I've actually already started this one as well. I'm on chapter 3. It's called The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. And it says, Achilles, the best of all the Greeks, son of the cruel sea goddess Thetis and the legendary king Pallas, is strong, swift, and beautiful, irresistible to all who meet him. Patroclus is an awkward young prince exiled from his homeland after an act of shocking violence. Brought together by chance, they forge an inseparable bond despite risking the god's wrath. They are trained by the centaur Chiron in the arts of war and medicine, but when word comes that Helen of Sparta has been kidnapped, all of the heroes of Greece are called upon to lay siege to Troy in her name. Seduced by the promise of a glorious destiny, Achilles joins their cause, and torn between love and fear for his friend Patroclus, I'm sure I'm butchering these names, but y'all get the point, follows. Little do they know that the cruel fates will test them both as never before and demand a terrible sacrifice. So I think this will be super interesting. So far, it's really, really great writing. I am kind of a sucker for great writing. You may have already read this. I feel like everybody has read this. I bought this for Jerry last Christmas and he loved it. But I've been hearing such great things about it still that I decided to go ahead and read it. This is The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F by Mark Manson. It's just like another self-help book. It says, in this generation-defining self-help guide, a superstar blogger shows us that the key to being happier is to stop trying to be positive all the time and instead to become better at handling adversity. I have a lot of friends who have really, really highly recommended this, so I'm very excited to see if it lives up to the hype. We have replanned our wedding in Scotland for September, and so I thought this would be just like a really great book to read in preparation for that. This is Love Between Equals, Relationship as a Spiritual Path by Polly Young Eisendrath. But it says, a committed relationship as most people see it today is a partnership of equals who share values and goals, united by love and dedicated to each other's growth. This contemporary model for coupledom requires real intention and work, and more often than not, the traditional archetypes of relationships fail us or seem irrelevant. Utilizing the wisdom of her years of personal and professional practice, young Eisendrath dismantles our idealized projections about love while revealing how mindfulness and dialogue can help us identify and honor differences with our partners and strengthen our bonds. These practical, time-tested guidelines are rooted in sound understanding of modern psychology and offer the necessary tools to reinforce and reinvigorate our deepest relationships. This book was recommended by Jasmine, which is Jerry's oldest daughter, and her and I tend to have similar taste in a lot of things. So anytime she recommends anything, I usually enjoy it. So she sent us this book. It's called Bitter Sugar, Slaves Today in the Caribbean, and it's a wrenching historical account of Haitian life in the Dominican cane fields. I think she read this because Jerry's Dominican, so obviously she's part Dominican, and she said it was just really powerful and eye-opening. So I'm very excited to read it. I really don't have a whole lot of knowledge about this topic, and so I'll read y'all the back. It says, a powerful, compelling documentary about one of the most despicable processes of human exploitation in the world today. Here is dramatized the experience of impoverished Haitians who are forced to work in subhuman conditions in the sugarcane fields and refineries in the Dominican Republic. A story bound to leave a lasting impression on the reader. The release of the English edition could not come at a more appropriate time, as the recent tumultuous events in Haiti have pushed that country to the center of the U.S.'s growing concerns about maintaining control of its backyard. I think that this book is going to be very heavy and intense to read, but I'm always trying to learn a little bit more about the world that we live in, and I really think that learning about like other people's lives that are so different from my own helps me just be like a better person, a better Christian, a better friend, a better citizen of the world. So I'm excited to read it. I've already like flipped through it, and there's like really powerful pictures in here. So I think that this is going to be very interesting and probably pretty heartbreaking to read, but I'm excited to just grow in my knowledge about the topic. So then the next book that I'm so excited to read, like so excited, I cannot wait, is Verity by Colleen Hoover, and this was included in Whitney Simmons' Best of 2021 favorites video, and the way she described it made me need to read it. So I'm going to end up borrowing this one from my library on my Kindle, but this is what it looks like. It's called Verity. The synopsis says, Loan Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Loan to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Loan arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Loan doesn't expect to uncover in chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Ooh. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of the night her family was forever altered. Loan decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents could devastate the already grieving father. But as Loan's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue loving her. So that sounds like so good. I might read that one next because I'm so excited. I also want to read a couple others from Colleen Hoover. I've just been hearing so much about her writing and how like chilling and incredible it is. So I'm very excited to check her out as an author. And the last book, well, kind of the last book, is Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Jerry loves Jay Shetty. So it says, when you think like a monk, you'll understand how to find your purpose, how to overcome negativity, how to stop overthinking, why comparison kills love, how to use your fear, and why you can't find happiness by looking for it. And I'm just really excited to see what this is about. Jerry really enjoyed it. And the next book I want to share with y'all isn't really actually a book, but it's a journal / devotional. But this is called The In-Between Places by Stephanie May Wilson. If you don't know Stephanie May Wilson, she wrote The Lipstick Gospel, and I read it a few years ago, and it really helped me like dive into my own soul and like figure out really what I believed and what I wanted to pursue in life. I think she's an amazing writer. She also has a podcast called Girls Night with Stephanie May Wilson, and she has the best topics. I love her podcast. That's probably the first podcast I ever got hooked on, and I've been listening to it for at least 2 years, but it's really, really amazing. So I wanted to pick up this journal from her, and I actually got this on sale, but I thought it was really special how it's described. So it says, living in the between places. Dear friend, there are some books in which the author goes through something hard, learns a ton, totally cracks the code, and then writes a guide telling you exactly how they did it and how you can do it too. I love those books, but I should warn you now, this is not one of them. This book is for the between places, for those times in life when your future feels uncertain and you're longing for the next step, but it just isn't happening. It's for those times when you know where you want to go, but you have no clue how to get there. And it's for those times when you're unsure of what happens next, and the process of trying to figure it out has you twisted up in anxious knots. This is a book about how to trust God with your future, written by someone who constantly needs help in this area. I'm not making this like a daily thing. I'm just doing this when I feel like doing it, but so far I've really been enjoying it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And until next time, I will see you next time. Bye guys.